New things are going down in Marvel Rivals, and we're gonna get into it. Hello everybody, I am Chimeras the Catboy, I am the goddess sexual desires and the son of Aphrodite. I'm also a semi-professional Marvel Rivals player ranking top 256 in the MRCs, and also my peeping Celestial and playing every season since season 0. Does that make me the most qualified? No, there's more, but I do play this game a ton and I think this is going to affect people like me and you. Marvel Rivals dropped a new announcement on their feeds and media, which is now going down and cracking down on incentivized throwing. If you don't know what that is, I'm sure you've probably heard of it in other games. Basically, it's where other players, malicious players, will throw bounties on people's heads, such as, I'll use me for example. Whoever can throw Chimeras the Catboy's games gets $50. And so it's incentivized throwing. And there's a lot of more things, and I will link a video that goes into more detail about it, like Flats, and other content creators that go more deeply into the incentivized throwing. However, I'm here to talk about what Marvel Rivals responded with. Since the launch of the crackdown on incentivized throwing or malicious match loss for personal gain, we received an overwhelming amount of feedback and suggestions for the community, which is, by the way, really rare for games like this to really, take our word for these things, and it makes me feel really good knowing that Marvel Rivals is actually taking not only accountability, but also being like, hey, we're hearing what you guys say. They go on to say, thank you for each point of passionate feedback. Our team is ready to roll out a new comprehensive upgrade to our anti-throwing measures, and you can read below what those are now, but one of them that really caught my eye is the one that actually is in the second one for the rank point compensation. If you don't know, there is a lot of rank compensation already in place in the game, such as if there is an AFK teammate, or if there is a wide skill gap. You get points based on those things. You still will lose, like, say for example, you were going to lose 20. But you had a thrower on your team, so you gained 8 points. And then there was a wide enough skill gap, so you gained 6 points. So you lose a lot less than what you normally would lose. And on the other end of that spectrum, is if you won those games with said thrower or wide skill gap, you gain more points. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do when they talk about rank point compensation. It says here, and I'll read a little bit further down, you'll receive an in-game email, or mail, notification once computation has been issued. So this is all fine and dandy, but now the ball is in our court, meaning it is up to us as players to be responsible for how we report and make sure that we are reporting based off true data. There are 3 things you can do to ensure that you are doing this correctly. The first one is pretty straightforward, is looking at usernames. Usernames are a huge tell based on an account. If you have someone named #1 thrower on your team and they're doing bad, yeah, I think you're safe to assume they're throwing. However, there's a lot of usernames that get kind of thrown in there, like names that have like a ton of numbers in it, or names that just have gibberish and babbling, and it's not cohesive, not cohesive names. Those names are designed solely just for farming, and they could be bot accounts. Also, I've also seen on a very rare occasion where accounts are stolen. And in which case, I would just say ban or report them anyway, and then let Marvel Rival know, and Marvel Rival will take care of the rest of that. But, it is up to us as players to utilize this system correctly. Marvel has basically deemed us worthy. It's almost like I'd imagine, like, when you're old enough to babysit. You know, like, we have responsibility now. Before, when the game first came out, it's like, okay, like, we'll listen to what you're saying, but, you know, you're still new to the game, so we're not gonna, like, you know, take it as word. Now we're kind of being given the permission to, like, okay, if you think this is a problem, we will take it as a problem, and so we want to make sure that we are not overutilizing this, I don't want to say gift, that sounds too formal, but this power that we have now received. Do I think people are going to misuse it? Of course, who wouldn't? Everyone's going to, you know, power trip on this. Like, I can already imagine, I can already see myself kind of, like, getting a little bit trigger happy with the report button. But I would like to take this time and go over what I believe valid reports are. Outside of usernames, there's also another thing to go. And it's harder for me to describe this in, like, lower rank division. So if you are below gold, I can't help you. I don't know what a thrower in gold looks like. I really don't. Outside of, like, the overwhelmingly, like, just jumping off the cliff tons of times. But I think if you have a team member and below or above plat, so if you are a plat and above, and you do not know how to do something on some character and you're a negative score, I think at the very least, it may not be you throwing, it may just be a bad game, but it's your responsibility to leave and, like, take a break, walk around, get some water at that point. Second of all, the higher up rank you go, it should go without saying this, but the margin of error that you're allowed to have does get smaller. I'll use Loki for an example. If you are a Loki main, and you're below platinum, so gold or below, and you make, like, mistaking with your ultimate, yeah, that's what you're learning. Totally fine. Like, no harm, no foul. Like, that is your almost right, you know, as a player. You know what happens. But as we start getting closer to, you know, GM and Celestial and Eternity and upwards, those mistakes can't keep happening. Once in a blue moon, sure. But it has been common where a lot of team members will make really big mistakes often. And while you may be actually trying, it is your job as a player to learn your character. And if you cannot learn your quote-unquote main by the time you are higher ranked, I'm going to raise an eyebrow to that. And I'm going to question, I'm like, oh, okay, like, is this not a character you normally play as? If so, what is? I also feel like characters that are going off roles on purpose is also not great as well. I've seen it numerous times where team members will pick goofy picks just to rage bait. Also, another thing is, you can be a amazing teammate, or sorry, back that up. You can be an amazing player, but be a horrible teammate. Does that count as throwing? I'll let you decide. It's not inherently, but there is room for it to become rage bait. And rage bait, if you don't know, is purposely doing something to incentivize your team members to get upset and perform badly. I don't know. I'll let you decide if that is a form of throwing. I've had it done to me numerous times, but I'll let you decide on that. The last one is kind of the same thing too. Outside of performing badly, communication is really big. And I feel that there are some times where players that don't communicate, or like they're not making plays, especially if you're a support player, double support ulting is such a big problem in this game. It's not even anyone's real fault, it's just an observation. When you double support ult, you know, you're really putting your team in a very ugly spot. So communicating with your ultimates is also very, very, you know, needed when it comes to playing these type of games. I'll let that be there. I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys have to think. And tell me below, what is like one of the games where you had a thrower or some sort of negative team member, but you pulled through? Mine is, we had a thrower leave, like, first match on Hell's Haven. Um, and I was on DPS, and it was a very tough looking match. But we ended up winning, like hard winning. And I think I got like 30 points for that game because it was just such a hard fought victory. And then the team member I reported, you know, got banned for a while. I don't know if they're still banned, but yeah, it was one of those things where I'm all like, yeah, just, you know, doing what you can do is all you can, all someone can ask of you. Yeah, well, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I hope to see you on my Twitch channel later today. Bye!